called the bar owner. I was like, listen, on me out. I'll work for free, whatever. I'll do work on the bar that you guys need done on the bar for free, everything, all that. You know, just get me out of jail. Promise I'll do good. This and that. So they get me out. You know, within a couple days later. So I spent about a week in jail over that. And so that's when I got involved in Narcotics Anonymous. I got a hold of my brother. As soon as I got out of jail, I said, hey, bro. I was like, when's the next week? He was like, tonight. I was like, come pick me up. I need to get help. So he comes, picks me up. You know, he's like, you sure? I'm positive. I gotta do something. You know, I can't be living. I'll keep living like this. I'm like, man, I'm looking at like life in prison right now. With all this shit going on. I was like, I need to do something. So that was late April 2017. I went back and forth to court for all them cases, off and on. Seemed like a lifetime. And a couple weeks after getting out, I gave up running my own business because I knew I wasn't responsible enough to have that kind of free time and make it successful. And so I went and got a job at the cabinet factory. And you know, that was unfortunately the best thing that I could have done, because it's not really the best place to work, but it's a job. It was still something similar to what I always have liked doing, you know, some kind of construction work, you know, similar to, you know, building houses, just building cabins. And so, you know, I called on real quick. It was real nice. I was, you know, going to NA meetings twice a week. You know, I bought a moped, and I was driving a moped all the way to Hardwoods going to NA meetings. I didn't care, you know. And I was doing some other drug and alcohol treatments at another facility, you know, so I was driving there once a week. And so I thought I had everything, you know, going to be under control. I made it, I don't know, roughly 9 months clean. And it got closer and closer to my sentencing date. Things just started unraveling. I went and started living in a motel in Plymouth. Not the greatest idea. I stayed to myself and really didn't try to associate with none of them people. They're all a bunch of crazy people there. But during that period, you know, I met a lot of decent people in NA through that, before all that. And then around that period, I met the best woman I'd ever met in my life. And she's really been there for me through tough and thin, you know, through the whole thing, you know, even though she probably shouldn't have stayed around as long as she did. And so I made it that long clean, and I really didn't have the ways, means, you know, I thought, to get back and forth to NA and stuff on a regular basis. I thought I had everything under control. You know, it's like, you know, I made it this far, I'm good, you know, I'm healed. You know, I'm sure almost every addict here has probably said that more than once, you know, oh, I'm good now. You know, I don't need that anymore. And so I started using it again. Big surprise, right? Quit going to meetings, started using. And I used off and on, you know, for the first few months that her and I were together, hid it from her, lied to her about it. She knew the whole time, you know, I just, oh, I'm not doing nothing, or whatever. And, you know, there was times when I just shunned her, you know, pushed her away, and that was usually times when I was getting drugs dropped off or something, you know. And, she wasn't dumb, she knew it. She should have probably kicked my ass a few times. But, so I used up until close to my sentencing date. I got sentenced, went the same day I got sentenced to work release in Logansport. And stayed sober the whole time, the first part that I was down there in Logansport. But I was still really cocky, selfish. Didn't really care much about anybody else but myself. You know, I thought, well, you know, I kind of beat the system. They didn't send me to prison. They sent me to Logansport work release, you know. I won, you know. And So I was getting brave and getting cocky, other people sneaking into you and all this and that, getting away with this. I'm like, shit, I can get away with that, no big deal. So I had modified, a couple pairs of my shorts, it was summertime, be able to hide chew in my shorts. And I got away with it for probably a good month and a half, being down there, until one day I walked in, they stripped you out, for whatever reason, they strip you out and let you put your same clothes back on. They stripped me out, and you two guys know old man that caught me, and he goes to hand me my shorts, grabs them back out of my hand, and feels my one pocket, flap them up, pulls out a bag of juice, throws it on the counter, lock it. Hands goes to hand them back to me, pulls them back again, grabs the other pocket, pulls out another little baggie of chew. I had a whole can of chew for the weekend, it was a long weekend, And so fuck, man. He was like, well, I was like, man, don't rap me. I'm like, come on, man. I was like, how many people do you catch chewing around here? You guys don't do shit. He's like, all right, all right, Joe. I was like, man, who the fuck gonna know you even caught me with chew? You ain't gotta say nothing to nobody, I'm trying to talk my way out of it, because I'm like, well, these motherfuckers gonna kick me out. And worst part about the being kicked out part was, it wasn't the fact that I was being kicked out and had to go sit in prison. It was the fact that, I had to call home and tell her, hey, I fucked up and get kicked out. You're not gonna see me for 3 years. And so I go in the dorm and sitting there, I'm stressing out, and he comes in, makes me sign my write up. He says, oh, and I need those shorts you got on. What do you mean you need my shorts? He's like, they're modified. You can't have contraband. Really? He's like, well, you ain't gonna get away with it again. I'm like, well, I ain't gonna try it again. So a week goes by, nothing happens, I'm like, cool, just a write up, no big deal. They took my pass. So I'm like, cool, that's my punishment. Write up, took my pass for a month. And second week, Monday, Tuesday, I go back and forth to work, come back, no big deal. Wednesday I go to work. We walk out of work, and the assistant chief of police at Culver sitting outside working. And it wasn't kind of unusual for him to be there. He was there, off and on all the time for whatever reason sometimes. And, I've known him since I was a teenager, so I walked up, bullshitting with him. And he asked how it was going. I was like, oh, it's going. I'm gonna work release down at Logansport. Just got work and going back to Logansport for the night. Like, oh, all right. Well, have a good one. Well, get down to Logansport. I walk in, and they're like, they're going this way to the classroom. And he's like, hey, follow me. I'm like, we have to change out. He's like, oh no, you gotta come in here for me. I'm like, alright, whatever, man, that's kinda weird. I walk in there, the whole time I have my cell phone in my hand and everything. Normally they would take your phone, your wallet, and everything. They'd take your phone, they'd make you put your wallet in your locker and all that. So I'm like, man, that's kinda weird, whatever. And they come back in a few minutes later, and they're like, you're under arrest. You're going back to Platte County. I'm like, for what? They're like, for that feud, we got a warrant. Well, their so-called warrant wasn't a warrant. It was a petition to file for a warrant, but that's what they used as a warrant to take me back to jail. I didn't actually get served with a warrant until I got to the jail. So, I call her, about 10 times from the jail to tell her, hey, don't bother coming and get me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to be in Logansport. She's devastated, mad, and so, I'm sitting there, I'm sitting in jail, and come to find out, the cop that was at work that day was actually there to serve me a warrant and arrest me. And he chose not to, because for 2 reasons. One, I had an ankle bracelet on, so they knew where I was at. And for 2, I was on my way back to Logansport, so it wasn't like I could bypass going to Logansport. And so he just decided, he didn't see me that day come out of work, so he didn't have to do the paperwork and all that crap. It wasn't his problem. And so, I go to court the next day, the lawyer shows up, mad at her and shit, whatever. And he said, we'll come back to court next week and get this figured out. And after I talked to the person down in Logansport on what they were going to do. So then we go back to court, and they said, no, you can't come back to work, please, for anywhere from 60 to 90 days, the max. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I sat there, you know, they're like, if the bus comes to get you between now and then, they come and get you, we'll just have to start the process all over. Alright, whatever. So I'm sitting there, you know, 60 days goes past, 90 days goes past. Before you know it, you know, 5 months goes past, and I'm still haven't heard anything from the lawyer, you know, I'm hounding him, she's hounding him. Finally, I just started calling him quick from jail. And finally, I got him to come to the jail. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were here. So I'm like, well, you're a freaking idiot. I've been calling your office every day for 5 months. And, so he gets the whole thing started to get me modified back to work release. 7 months later, I was walking back into work release. And while I was in jail, I made trustee, and I had some freedom. Went from being a janitor to being a kitchen trustee, which is like the best job in the whole jail. You know, you can eat all you want. You know, you're out pretty much the whole day. You know, 7 days a week. And man, I did that for about 3-4 weeks. And down there in Winamac, you're in the same block as their work release. One of the work release guys snuck in some meth. I come back from the kitchen, I'm sitting in my cell, you know, in my room. And he comes in and says, hey man, you want to be high? I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good. I don't do that shit. And he's like, alright, man. 10 minutes later, he's sitting out watching TV, and I holler for him when he comes in. I like, fuck it, man, I'm already in jail. I was like, I'm just waiting on the bus to come get me, you know. I was like, what are they gonna take from me? I'm in jail, who's gonna know? So, I decided to get high within 10 minutes of telling them no. And that's just the addict in me, you know. I just, you know, I had a hard time, you know, knowing that it was there and knowing that at the time I didn't think there was any consequences, you know. So what in the world could they take from a person that's already locked up? And, you know, that's going to be locked up for 3 years because he can't get a hold of his freaking lawyer to do for his lawyer to do his job. And, so this was on a weekend. I told him, I was like, you know, because at first, you know, I was like, man, I love no drug test. Drug test work release and no drug test all of us like normal. And, so my reasoning for being okay with getting high was, besides the fact that, you know, I didn't think I could lose anything, I didn't think about what I had at home, you know, waiting for me to get home. You know, I didn't think about the fact that, you know, I was going to lose my trustee job, you know, that, you know, I could lose the chances of even getting to go back to work release. And so I got high, and by that Sunday, everybody in that cell block got drug tested. And what do you think happened? I lost everything that I had going for me. I lost my trustee job. I, you know, went to the hole, you know, for a couple of days till they decided what our punishment was, and then they found out they really couldn't punish us because nobody wrote us up, you know, so they had to let us out of the hole. But, you know, I mean, the fact that I was sitting in the hole the first day, and, well, the only thing I'm allowed to do, because I can't use the phone or nothing like that, is write a letter home. So I wrote her a letter home, telling her what happened, what I did, you know, asking for forgiveness, you know, even though I didn't deserve it. And little did I know, I really didn't need to write a letter to tell her what I did, because I love the woman to death. She's awesome, but the assistant jail commander, Miss Phyllis, called her or messaged her, whatever, and already told on me, you know, as soon as she found out, you know. And it was just horrible, you know. Miss Phyllis came and told me, she's like, I already told you this. You know, I already got a hold of her. She's like, she already knows what you did. She's like, I can't believe you would do that to her. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm mad. I have the willpower, I guess. I thought I did, and I'm like, I don't. You know, I was like, I apologize for, you know, doing that in your jail, you know, and disappointing you. But she really, it wouldn't have been that, you know, we were probably on camera and in the jail, and she was on the job. She probably would have beat the shit out of me. I really think she wanted to. She'll tell you, she really wanted to. And, you know, I stay in contact with her all the time. Matter of fact, I spoke to her last night. And, you know, I always try to update her, let her know how things are going, you know, where I'm at in recovery, you know, how Casey and I are doing. Just all in all, is how life has changed in the past 2 years. So, I finally got modified back to work release. I sat there for another week after I got notified. They finally came and got me. I went to work release. They wouldn't let me return to my job up here, which was fine because I didn't have the transportation anymore. Travel back and forth. But they made me get a crappy job down there, which really sucked. And I think the worst part was I was on work release, but her and I only got to see each other a couple times a week. I got it worked out to where I could start going to outside meetings after I was there for a while. And that's where, I met a lot of great people in recovery down in Logansport, was going the outside meetings. And she would come pick me up on a Saturday evening. We would go to the meeting for 2.5 hours. As much as she hates sitting, she would sit there with me for the whole 2.5 hours just so we could spend time together. And so, the goal I had made when I got there that time was I was going to stay straight. I was going to do everything, my willpower, to do what I'm doing still today. And I just continued to work away, going to meetings, reading the books, and just doing it all. Everything I had to do just to be able to become a better person and just be a better person. And so I was there like 6 months, 7 months. I kept hounding them about letting me out on house arrest. And I was like, that was part of my plea agreement when I'm out, like, that how you guys would allow me to go home on house arrest after a short period. They kept, him hauling around, saying, oh, well, why don't you just get a house down here? We'll put you out on house arrest right away. I'm like, I'm not moving to Logansport. I don't want to be in Logansport now. Like, I just don't have another choice other than to go to prison. I was like, I have a job waiting for me. I have a home waiting for me. I have a family waiting for me. I was like, look, what's it going to take for me to be able to go back home or not? They're like, well, we can't supervise you that far, so you would have to get Stark County to approve you to transfer there. So they were dragging their feet, so I decided, okay, I'll just go to Stark County. So I started communicating with Stark County. They told me what exactly needed to be done. I wrote them in work release facility, told them what needed to be done, that they would more than likely allow me to transfer as long as they put the request in and would be okay with me transferring my stuff there. So about a month of all this started. They came to me one morning. They said, what day do you want me? They woke me up. I was working second shift at the time. They woke me up. I was pissed. Well, what the hell are you waking me up at 8 o'clock in the morning? And they're like, what day do you want to leave? What do you mean, what day do I want to leave? They're like, you're going home on house arrest. What day do you want to leave? Tuesday morning or Thursday morning? I was like, well, that's kind of a dumb question. Tuesday morning it is. They're like, well, you don't want to give your work a notice? You can stay longer and we'll just prolong it. I was like, I'll give them a notice today when I go to work. I'll tell them today. I'll turn in all my stuff before I leave work and tell them this is my last day. I was like, I've been waiting long enough to go home. So when I left for work, called home, told her, the good news, told her what time she needed to be in Logansport to pick me up. And so the next morning, it felt like hours and hours, before I got to go home. Couldn't sleep, was just restless, how it is when you're getting ready to go home. I was just excited, nervous. I've never been on house arrest before, so it was just like, man, I really gotta stay focused, staying clean, staying straight, and doing everything in my power to stay doing what I'm doing now. And so finally, they call me out, bring all your stuff out, sign your papers, you're out of here. You got an hour to be in Knox from the time you leave it. All right, cool, So I left there, we come to Knox. I sat in there, it felt like days, waiting to get the bracelet on just so I could go home and actually, be in my own home and know that I'm home, not just visiting for a few hours. And so since then, that was September 10th last year, and since then, I have done everything in my willpower to continue living the life that I need to live and want to live to be the person that I am. And I honestly, God, couldn't do that without Narcotics Anonymous. I couldn't do that without the support that Casey gives me. You know, as much as she dislikes sitting at meetings, dislikes dragging me around everywhere, being my taxi, she doesn't. She does it because I know she loves me. You know, she don't do it because she has to. She does it because she wants to. And I owe a lot to her because she's been there for me the whole time. Nobody's ever been there for me. And you know, I've met wonderful people in Narcotics Anonymous. Honestly, this wouldn't be possible today if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now. 2 years ago, I would have never thought of starting up my own meeting in Knox. I would have never thought of staying right here speaking to nobody, trying to, you know, tell everybody what I can of my story. And, you know, I owe it all to Narcotics Anonymous. And, you know, I've gotten a family in Narcotics Anonymous, a better family than I've had outside of Narcotics Anonymous. I got good friends. I have real friends now. And I have some that are there anytime I need to call, anytime I want to text. I may not answer right away, but they will get back to you eventually. Might not be that minute, might not be that day. They will respond to you eventually.
Damn.
But that being said, he knows also that, you know, I'm always there for him whenever he needs to talk. And so I mean, it's kind of a giving friendship, you know, and family. You know, he's like a brother to me, a sponsor. You know, we both have really fucked up heads and real big issues, but you know, that's probably why we get along so great. And you know, I think everything Narcotics Anonymous and my family Narcotics Anonymous. And we can keep living one day at a time and just living my life. You know. Without this, I'm no more than just an addict user. So this will probably be a lifetime commitment, and that's okay with me. And, really all I got. Just want to thank everybody for coming tonight and listening. Thanks, Jason.